What's happened?
Hi. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to be here, to be on this journey for the next 8 freaking weeks. And this isn't even the 8 weeks starting. This is just our kickoff call. We still have 8 more weeks after this call. This is like the getting started, the getting to know you, talking about the layout, getting to know each other, being in this space, all the good things. But I want to see how you guys are feeling right now. Like, move, feel, like, what are we doing? Drop it in the chat. I've been having so much fun talking to each and every one of you around what your visions are, what your goals are, what made you jump into the space. But that's what I want to use this kickoff call for, is just like set the container, use this space, show up big, set the tone, set the energetic state, all things in between. Because in this space, we are going to be talking about first. Oh my goodness, he's so big now. Oh my goodness, so big. I met Joelle when she was pregnant with this baby. So crazy. Um, but we are going to be talking about inner messaging and outer messaging. So we're going to be moving through mindset stuff. We're going to be moving through somatic stuff, and we're going to be obviously moving through strategies and systems and all things in between that I know, love, preach, and teach. And so what I want to talk about is in this container, you're going to be triggered. That's the point. You're going to feel overwhelmed. That's the point. You're going to feel expanded. That is literally the point. So that we can just slingshot you into the version of you that is meant for big impact, big wealth, knowing your zone of genius, knowing how to be convicted in your message, knowing how to write your message, all things in between. Because you guys, something you guys all have in common, which I will give you the mic and you guys can talk about, is the messaging piece. That's why we're in this container of how to articulate your message in such a powerful way that moves people into action. And the core of that being, what do you do? Like, how do you concisely say, this is what I do? This is who I serve. This is how I serve them. And so we're going to be walking through that over the next 8 weeks. You are going to have this space. And so who here has been in a mastermind? Cool. Perfect. So mastermind spaces are, for anyone that is new to the game, this is where in these coaching calls, it's coaching. Like, it's me going through your content, me going through your copy, me answering your questions. Anyone else here can also answer those questions because we're all skilled leaders in this space. What you see, what you share, what's working for you, what's not. That's how these calls are going to work. And then I am, based on what we're talking about, going to be building out modules for you guys. So that's why I want to get to know you guys here. So then you guys have quote unquote homework. I'm a huge person on strategy. I'm a huge person on integration. I'm a huge person on, as you know, Julia knows, worksheets. I love the worksheet side of things because it takes you beyond just what I talk about in the modules and the trainings. And I think that is really what's missing in the coaching industry, so that you can pull out your zone of genius and things like that. So you are going to have that complementary with this space. And so you'll have that, and then you can come on here and you can ask questions. We can mastermind and things like that. It's not only going to be about business. It's going to be about life. It's going to be about all things that are happening and all things in between that do come in and hugely play a part with messaging. Because if your offline life is a little bit chaotic, it is going to affect your online messaging and how you serve. And so that's what this space is for. You're going to have Telegram. I think only Julia and Anna have joined the Telegram channel. I haven't checked though, but there's a Telegram channel. I can drop the link for y'all right now. Checking. Thank you. Info, add, copy, invite link. And so if you don't have Telegram, you'll get an error message. So you will have to download Telegram, which is an app, totally free. I just dropped it in the chat, and then jump in there. Inside of the Telegram channel, you guys can chat, you guys can celebrate, you guys can ask questions. That's where, in between these calls, you're going to get my coaching. That's where that high touch access to me comes that my programs don't normally get unless you're in my VIP spaces. So this is where you can drop stuff. If you're going to do a voice note, keep it under 1 minute. And please, please try your hardest to do that. I know sometimes we're like talking and talking and talking in order to get to the point. And it's like, I have people I need, like, let's get to the point. And it also helps us with our messaging of like, do I know what my problem is and how do I ask the right questions? We're going to be practicing that. So keeping it under 1 minute. And then you can text the things, you can drop copy, you can drop posts that you've done that you want me to look over. We can also, if you're not going to be on a call, you can drop your question there. And if I need to pull it up on the screen on these calls, I can do that here because I know we are in all different time zones. This time, like you guys are all on the call, this is great. But I know sometimes if we have it in the morning and like time zones and things like that, it's going to be complicated. So you can all get the access there. And that's where you still feel supported through these 8 weeks. So I covered all the hows. Did you guys all get access to the platform? Because you guys all have magnetic messaging. So you should have a login portal, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's where the recordings are going to be. And then that's where I'm going to upload the complimentary program, I guess is what we can call it, like that I'm going to build out while I learn about what you guys need, and then creating some SOPs and programs and trainings on that side for you guys. But that's all going to be in that portal. You'll get emails that describe all of that to you guys. Yeah, I think that's all of the like masculine side of things. And so how I want today's call to go is just introducing yourselves, what you're here for, what you're working on, what your business is, and just let us get to know you a little bit. And then we'll move forward from there. So whoever wants to go first.
I'll
Dun.
start. So I'm Julia. I live in
Okay.
Boston,
Can
and
you
I've
guys
been
hear her?
working.
Oh,
There's,
because you're on my mic and this doesn't have it. Now you can go. Sorry.
I've been working with Laura for almost a year now, and it's been so fabulous. Wow, I can't believe it's been a year.
That's crazy.
But it's been so good. We started like with love and relationships, and then I was like, I want to start a business because there was a voice in my head that just said, do it. So I've been building my business since end of November, early December. Having my first client come in has been extraordinary, and now I'm just excited to really nail down my messaging, get more crystal clear on my caption writing, which I've come a long way since I started. So this is going to be super great. And yeah, I'm excited to get to know all of you and just go on this journey together.
Yeah. And Julia, since the beginning, she's like popping off these challenges, filling them with like 14, 16 people. I forget how many it was, like the first one, the second one. And then she's instantly sign. I think you have what, 2 clients now? And then you were doing like tester beta clients and like filled those right away. She just popped off. And so I'm very excited about this. It's
Thank
just like,
you.
I just feel like doing this. And then just popped off. And I'm like, you're so cute. I love it. Who's next?
Hi, I can go.
Hi.
Okay, hi, my name is Joelle. I'm French, as I'm sure you can notice from my accent. I met Laura when we are living in Thailand. That was like maybe 7 years ago. I live in Hong Kong at the moment. And okay, I'm going to try to be short. I'm 40 years old. I'm a wife, a mom, my son that you just saw. And I've done like a lot of different things in my life. And at 40, I realized that what I really want to do, like a lot of people, is to coach. And I couldn't really find what it was. So I decided to go on that journey, and I'm finishing now like a 1 year program, and it's feminine embodiment coaching, which I absolutely love. And I think it kind of seals everything that I've learned so far. But I know that coaching is not the end point. It's just like what I use to get people like, where they want to go. And at the moment, I have kind of an idea of where I want to bring people, like what's going to be the journey and the transformation. But there's just like so much happening. And there's so much I think I could share, but there's also so much I don't know yet. So I'm still not completely clear on what is going to be my main offer, which might be weird because I'm joining this program to really learn the messaging. But I think for me, there's also the piece of like getting really clear on on what I can bring. I know a lot, but I don't know exactly how. So this is where I'm at.
And I'm so excited because I feel like you have so much knowledge. And when we can pinpoint that down, and anyone that's feeling this, where it's like, I don't know what my offer is, but I'm in this, why am I messaging for some reason? Like, what is it? That's actually how like pyramid works, where it's like bottom of the pyramid, most important foundation of it all is
Yeah.
messaging. And in your messaging, you're then going to move to offer. And then in offer, then you move to marketing. A lot of us are trying to figure out our offer, and yet we haven't played with messaging. And that's why it feels so confusing because you're trying to make something when you don't even know who you serve. So that is part of what we're going to be covering. I think, let me see what week we're doing that. Ooh. That is no. Week 3. We're going to be talking about offers and things like that. So got you covered on that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren. I'm so excited to be here. So excited. Like my energy is just like all over the place. It's great. I am new to Laura's space. So I found her on Instagram, I don't know, this year or last year. And it's just like, oh my God, this woman, she like speaks to me. She activates the hell out of me. I need to be in her space. So yeah, like it's just great. Like you are me in so many ways. So I'm really excited to be here, and my goal, like my business, I have a coaching business, and it is focused on relating intimacy and feminine embodiment archetype work. It's kind of like an amalgamation of I've danced all my life, and now I'm just bringing it all together. And my core vision is like I have such a passion for men and women coming together and relating together. I hate this toxic separation, and like I'm really passionate about the unconscious emasculation of men, and so I've now created this I guess I've got the vision, but I like the messaging around it, and actually being able to solidify and get the clients in. Like I've got a couple. I've had success in the past. Like I was at 10, 15K months at one point a couple of years ago. But now I'm just like, I'm not. So it's like I'm this like with income, and I want now, like actually literally just before this call, I was like, oh, I think I have my framework of like archetype work, relating, communication with men, and like trauma healing or something. I think like I see that. But I just want clarity. I want systems. I want structure. I want all of it. I don't have any of it, and I just need it. And I'm really excited. And that's my story.
Oh my God, I'm excited. I love this so much because this part of the work, making something that feels intangible, tangible. And that's how I feel feminine and body space in the relational space. That's once I could nail that when I had my relationship business, that takes off. And so it's when we can kind of nail that, because it is this like, how do I describe this? Like it's something where it's like felt, not told. And it's like, no, we can tell it and we can make it tangible specifically for people that want to pay us. And so I'm excited to go on that journey with you. So what was the thing? So if you were making 10 to 15K a month, what do you feel like made it drop? What shifted?
Well, that was like 2 years ago, and that was when I was in a personal development kind of cult, and I was working with that. Like I was an entrepreneur as opposed to an entrepreneur, and that was more like doing NLP and just like that kind of stuff. Whereas life has really lifed in the last couple of years, and so I'm just now like this niche has probably come more so in the last like, well, I've owned it a whole lot more in the last year, but it hasn't fully like landed with a whole lot of money yet.
Yeah. But that makes sense. How long have you been doing this niche?
I've dabbled for like a year and a bit, and really started owning it in the last, let's say, 6 months.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just the pickup and then the embodiment, like the actual like conviction in this is who I am and this is how I serve.
Yeah.
Got you. Good to know. Yay. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
Who's next? Donna.
I'll go next. Okay,
Yes.
so most of you have heard my voice, obviously, in chats and stuff like that on Laura's back end. But I'm Cassandra. I'm the voice behind, well, Laura's incredible voice. But I am a social media manager and a virtual assistant. My husband is in the room, so I always get super nervous when he's like hearing me speaking, even though he's on
your chance. This is your chance. This is the conviction.
Yes, my kids are asleep, but he's awake. So I've been a social media manager and a virtual assistant for the past 6 years. I've been kind of doing this, like before that, I was a truck driver. Life is nuts how it is. And so I work with a lot of high performing coaches, a lot of big female founders, female entrepreneurs. Laura is one of my clients. We've been like to see Laura go through this whole engagement and go through the whole babies and like all the things. It's just, it makes me cry because I've been here, Joelle, and I know you can relate from there. But I've been with Laura since back when she was in Healing the Happy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's like this massive person who's just abundantly amazing and has all these things. And I'm just like, I want to learn from her, but I know that I could help her and I want to be with her in some capacity. So I am just trying to hone in, I guess, on my messaging because, you know, we all see things on social media and then we think that we need to change something and then it doesn't work. And then, you know, so I don't know. I always want to refine things and do better. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And you hit it on the nose when you said that stuff is, if stuff is chaotic in the background of your life, it's going to be chaotic in the front end. Having two kiddos makes my life a little different. It's been a snow day week, like all week, so it's been fun. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me. And so, yeah.
Yay. And so what are you looking to gain out of this container?
I would say the clarity in moving my packages to a higher kind of density because I feel like I went from like I tripled my income from last year to this year, getting more strategic with what was it? What was the last mastermind or masterclass that I was in? Was it the one where we did the Reels covers and stuff like that? Once I changed all my Reels covers and like rebranded and everything like that, it really built out like a lot of clients and stuff like that from there. A lot of people just were like, whoa. So thank you. But I really 3x'd my income from last year or the year before. And so I really would love to be more consistent in my income and increase that, but also find the balance of I am a mom of two. Not go from like 2K, 3K a month till a consistent 10K a month. Because I was at 8K at one point, so per month,
Yay.
which is wonderful.
Yay. I'm excited because it's just so fun because I've been with Cassandra for 4 years, I think. Like since I was in gut health. And so she's just kind of been with me on this journey and like so in it. And I'm like, girl, I just want to make you so rich, but also don't leave me. Like I want to make you so rich because it's so good. And so I'm so excited that you're in this container and it's really fun because I think it's just so cool. Like someone that helps me and then we get to refine your message and we get to level it up and we get to call in more high ticket clients by creating more high value containers and just kind of building that stuff out. So I'm really excited for that. Let's
Well,
see.
one thing I will input this too. One thing I will say is back when Laura was Healing to Happy, like episode like say 22 and on the podcast, I didn't really, and Laura, you know this, you know, once it shifted is when what had happened. I wasn't really paying attention to what she was teaching or the podcast in the very beginning in her podcast. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know, I really should take a listen and really should dive deeper in what this girl is talking about so that I can be better on her back end, but also be better in my own business. And oh my gosh, yes, that's when it hit. And then I was like, oh, she better
I
never leave
love
me.
you.
Like, never.
I
So,
love you.
anyway, me
It's gonna
too.
be so fun. I love that you're in this container. This makes me so happy. Okay, so Anna says, hi, I'm on my phone for some reason. The audio is being super funky, so I'm dropping my intro here. Okay, I will do it for you. Don't you worry. Hi, I'm Anna. My life is hella chaotic at the moment. Sorry. It's just a funny way to start. I'm a full-time registered nurse getting ready to do a military move with my husband, and I'm a mental performance coach for athletes. I'm still getting clear. I'm still getting clear on more of my ideal client, but the ultimate goal is to work with world-class elite level athletes. I'm working on my elevator pitch, so here it goes. You can train your body all you want, but if your mind is setting the limit, how far can you really go? That's where I come in. I teach athletes how to lead, shift their state, and refine their limits so they stop playing small and start showing up with confidence, resilience, and next level adaptability and flexibility. This isn't about rigid systems. It's about giving you the tools to own your game in and out of sports. I want to nail my messaging and stop saying, I don't know, whenever people ask me about my business. Anyone relate to that? You're like, I do something, I don't know, we do stuff, and then we shrink, even when our husband's in the room. Okay, I love this so much because one of the things, and I'm going to use you as an example because this is something that I want to work on with all of you guys, is when we're writing our elevator pitch and when we're talking about our message, and this is something you guys can noodle on, is we want to make sure that we are speaking in tangibles. Because when I am reading that showing up with confidence, resilience, and next level adaptability and flexibility, so I can what? Like, what do I get by being more confident? That's not tangible for me. That's not getting me a result. That's not helping me do anything. That's something that's very overused in the market. And a lot of people in the health space and just overall space use that a lot. And so we want to make sure when we're using our message, you're going to bang my head against the wall because it's so frustrating until you get this, Julia knows. And when you can actually sit here and go, what is the tangible result that I get from being more confident, from having more flexibility, from having resilience? What does that mean? How do I, based on the client that you're serving, what's X result that I'm going to receive from achieving that? And then once we know, okay, and then I help you do that by X. Nervous system work, something tangible, something that is your method. So I do that through, Bolder Branding Academy. I do that through the BOLD method. I do that through the Savage Sales on Repeat method. I do that through Pre-House Wayfair method. Like all the different things that I've come up with, that's what we're able to do. That's what we're able to coin. That's the movement that we're going through. Don't worry if this doesn't make sense yet, because this is what we are covering throughout these 8 weeks. Because when you can nail this, guys, it is one of the things where you're sitting there and you start, like, it's not that we can't use intangible words. They're nice, they're common, they're phrases that people are saying. But when you can understand your client on such a soul level, what they mean by confidence is, what they actually want to achieve is, and then you can articulate that in your messaging, you can embody that in your branding, you can say that with such conviction, that is what sells. That is what people want to hear. That is how they know, like, and trust you a lot faster. That makes sense? Cool. So for the rest, what I want to know is who here, and you can drop it in the chat or you can unmute yourself, whatever, who here has sales? Who here has made sales in their business? Okay. And then newbies have made sales. We love the newbies. We kick them, we get them going. And so we're just going to be working with that. That's something that I wanted to know. And then what is the tangible goal? You guys can drop it in the chat because then it'll be saved there for me. The tangible goal that you want to achieve by the end of these 8 weeks. What is that? I feel like I should put music on. I'll just sing to you guys. I don't know a song. I was gonna start singing Christmas music and I was like, that's gonna be confusing. I want to get back to consistent payments again, the goal of 30 payments later this year. That should get me hooked. Being clear on what my signature coaching journey. That is step 1 for me. And then being super clear in a flow where I show up online to talk about it. Okay, so consistency. You guys, the word each one of you has said is clarity. Each one of you. We want to have clarity. I love it. Tangible goal. I want to get back to making 10K consistent months again, making 100K this year. Clarity in my message.
To be specific, I was literally typing that as you were like, everyone has said clarity. My whole thing is, and I know you guys know this because you guys read Laura's posts and stuff, but like my whole thing is like, I want to feel like I'm in their heads, like the psychology behind it. That is my biggest thing for the messaging. Is I'm tired of these like little tiny captions, and then the ones that really are too long but make no sense. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The hooky things. I want to have my dream clients flowing in with ease and 10 new clients at the end of these 8 weeks. I love this. It's easy cake. And then Anna, I think you put yours in yours, right? I want to nail my messaging and stop saying, I don't know, whenever people ask me about my business. Because I believe that's your tangible. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from our call earlier. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I have those all locked out. So we're going to be checking in on these while we go through everything. We're going to be looking at, okay, are we on the pathway, right? This is the goal. We're going to make sure that we stay on that goal, because here's the thing that we all have, a monkey brain. We like to go this way. We like to learn about someone's path this way. We jump around, and then all of a sudden you're making content around something that, or you're going towards a goal that wasn't even your goal to begin with. So my job is to keep you on track. That is where my little savage sergeant daddy energy comes out. Story of my life. Exactly. Oh my gosh, everyone's babies are so big now. I think it's just because I'm pregnant that I'm just like, they go so big. Okay, sounds perfect. And so I want to use the rest of the time for whatever questions y'all have. I want to answer them. I want to crush them out. And then that will be today. So whoever wants to unmute themselves and get hot seat coached, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I know we're all at different stages in a way. But my question would be, how do we start? And I know we're going to go through a lot during 8 weeks, but I want to use also, that energy of being in the, okay, I'm here, I'm committed, I want to get started, even if it's messy. And I don't know for you girls, but for me, for the longest time, I was like, no, unless I'm like perfect on knowing how to do something, I'm not going to do it. So meaning that years and years later, I haven't started. So I don't want to be it. I don't want to be that way anymore. And I'm like, I want to get started, even if it's not perfect and messy, but at least take some actions. So for example, in my case, I haven't even certified, like I should certify next month. So I'm technically not a coach yet, but I can still start to talk about, like what I do, what I want to bring. And I've done that in a way, but in such an inconsistent and not clear way that I kind of gave up. And I was like, oh, I'm going to wait to start this mastermind to get a bit of clarity so I can resume. But also, I know that the less that I show up online, then the less that I'm willing to do it, and I lose the momentum, which was already for me so difficult to get into because it doesn't really come natural to me. So I'm like, from here, what do I do?
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about momentum, because that is a topic. That's a huge thing where it's like, it doesn't come natural to me. It comes natural when it's in alignment, right? A lot of us will say it's not momentum. It's not the thing. I'm too busy. It's too that. And it's like, when it's an extension of your soul and you're doing work that you're passionate about, you can't not. It's just in your daily conversations. Your life is content. Anything you do, even when you're out thinking it's not content, there's always raw material. There's always something that is from your life. And so the job right now is to sit here and see, okay, one, realistically, what is the consistency that you can commit to for these 8 weeks showing up online?
It's not a question I need to answer now. Honestly, I have the time. So it's not a matter of time. If that was the question, like I can show up every day, I think, Yeah.
Can you realistically
with
commit
what?
to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And so with what is where we go into, have you started magnetic messaging, the program?
The worksheet?
Yeah, the worksheet
Yeah.
and breaking that down. And then there's a training that's attached to it. There's a video that goes with it.
I think, I've watched the video. Yeah. And I've started on the worksheet, which has a lot of parallel with what I'm doing right now. I'm at the last module of my certification, which is putting things together. So I used a lot of, what I have there because it's the same kind of, core. So yes, I've started to do this.
Perfect. And so the thing that I'm catching in this energy is that you just told me that perfectionism in you is that thing. It's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You already know the outline of feminine embodiment of what you're learning. So that has to just be something that you are practicing. It's not meant to get the result right now. You are just building the habit of storytelling, of being an educator, of being a leader. You just have to show up consistently, because it's not going to happen like that unless you fail a million times. And so it's just going through where you're sitting there and going, okay, I understand because I have a document and 2 programs, which means it must be kind of important that I nail this and practice it.
Yeah.
Going through that and just using that as your content when you're answering the questions. Okay, so what is the story thread that I can put here? What is a caption I can write out of this? What's a story slide I can make of this? What's a reel I can make of this? And just getting in the habit of looking at that as content. And that's just the work for now. And then looking at, okay, where do I feel resistance? Where do I feel the lack of momentum? Because you just told me you have plenty of time to do it. So then looking at, okay, so why wouldn't we do it? And also the thing of looking at is like, we don't have to wait to be certified to do. I'm not like, it's nothing feminine embodiment coaches, unless you're doing deep trauma work, there's not actual deep certifications. It's just kind of what people sell us. Like, we've all taken them. It is important, but no one in their mind, this 8 years or 6 years, however long I've been doing it, no one has asked me if I'm certified. Not once. Like, except for trauma stuff, when I'm doing like bilateral stimulation and somatic work and things like that, that stuff I do need to be certified in, because I could get in a lot of trouble if I wasn't. And so it's like things like that, like, yes, the certifications, they make us feel nice, but we don't actually need them. There's no legal binding thing. There's nothing in that kind of realm that we actually need it. It's just an education process that helps us graduate from the school, but you live in a school of life. You've been through so much, you've done so much. You just need to go and look at the raw material of your life and go, okay, how did I actually look and become? Why did you choose feminine embodiment? Like, why was that? That's content.
Yeah.
What was the process of you finding it? Did that? How did you do that as a wife and a mother? Content. And just starting to source your life and starting to think of your life as the raw material, as your content, and then just getting in the consistency of using that. That's where I would start. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So kind of listing down things that to me seem to be raw material, like in a messy way, and just to start not using it yet, but at least make a list of things that I could use as material.
Exactly. And you can use them. Like, you don't have to wait for our next call to then be able to post. It's like, just do messy work. Just make a caption, just do a thing, even if it's not perfect. Trust me, you want to practice when no one is looking, because when people start looking, they're like, you have a spelling error. And I'm like, shut up. I'm typing fast. I don't care. It's like that type of thing where it's like being able to just have that material where it's like, and the truth is, you're going to be revisiting these things because you're going to be learning, and then you can repurpose them in 90 days. And then you just put a new lesson in it and we can play with it. But we just want to get a list of like, what are the lessons you've learned in your life that have taught you feminine embodiment? Note those down and then play with, how can I create a caption around that? How can I do a hook story? I mean, you don't have an offer yet, so you don't really need the offer part, but whatever it is, like hook story, comment below if this relates, like some type of CTA to get people engaged. But that's all you have to practice with. So I would write down like 7 to 10 lessons you've been through, and then play with what would be the hook for this. And then what's a story I can tell to explain what this is.
Okay. I'm saying okay, but in my head, I'm already like, I have no idea how to do this, but okay. I'll start.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. And plus, just if you put it in a document, then you can drop it into the Telegram chat and I can give you notes.
Okay, cool.
Like,
Thank you.
just play. No one, like, if you don't want to post it online, don't post it online. Play here.
Yeah.
And we can give you feedback and we can go through. Like, that's the whole point of this. Like, scribble outside the lines so we can then come in and then you get the hang of it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Ask Julia. This is what we do. She's like, and like, come in and play with it. Like, this is the whole fun thing of it.
And with like the posting, are you doing it through social media? Is that how you're going to get your clients?
Well, that's one way that I want to explore. But then I also want to be more out like in the real world, like networking. And I have these groups that I know like where I live, that I'm already involved in, but just more as somebody who's kind of watching what's happening. But I do know that I'm usually better because I'm more used to it. To sorry, my son is leaving to school. Tu y vas, mon chéri? Ok. Tu me fais un bisou? Ouais, tu me fais vite un bisou. Bonne journée, maintenant. Je t'aime. Tout à l'heure. On a fait un... À tout à l'heure, mon chéri. Sorry, it's gonna say bye. Bye.
Bye. Have fun at
Okay,
school.
cool.
Bonne journée. On te dit. Sorry. So yeah, so I want to do also like being like involved in real life, because also sometimes I feel that, oh, you know, when you work on your own like that, it can feel also like lonely for me. So I want to be more out there in the real life. But definitely, as something Laura was saying, I think in one of her videos or posts, is that sometimes, you know, you meet someone in person, and the first thing you would do after is look them up on social media. And then it's like there's, I believe for me, because I haven't used social media yet for you know what I'm about to do, when people meet me and then if they look me up, they'll be like, oh, is it? Not interested. They don't follow, you know, like even somebody posted something about me in that group and that was very nice. And it had like so many views, but nothing happened after, because it's like I don't post anything interesting yet for people. Might be interesting for my friend because it's about just my personal stuff. But you know, and even if I do more like in-person stuff, I would still have like to have let's say Instagram account that's going to be reflecting who I am or what I do, even if it's not my main avenue, let's say. That makes
I
sense.
just like totally recommend that you start posting on your social media now while you're in this space.
Yeah.
Because like will hold the hard for you and be able to give you feedback. Like I just looked back on my Instagram. I made like my first fitness post. I'm a fitness coach. I didn't say that
Okay.
earlier.
Yeah.
August 21st. And like
Okay.
I didn't get my first client until like December 3rd, maybe. And so it's just like that practice now while
Yeah.
you're in the space to get all that feedback. So that's just something I would totally recommend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for that. Who else has a question?
I'd love to ask a question.
Yes.
So I know I create amazing transformation for my clients when they're in my space, when they're in my events. I was running a monthly, I called it Feminine Fusion. It was an in-person event last year, and it was all things pleasure, embodiment. Like it just was wild, and the transformation that they got was incredible just after one event. So I created a 7-week archetype journey this year because I was like, I want something for them to continue to like lean into. And I've just got crickets. And I'm realizing I don't actually know how to sell it. Like, and I know like the tangible and specific just does my head in, and I really struggle with it, especially with the embodiment piece, of course. And like what I'm coming up against is like either the women who like came to the events, absolutely loved it, said that they were in for the next ones and now just ghosting me, or there's money stories, because it's almost like I think I have a belief of like people don't pay for longer periods of time with me or something that I think I need to work through. But I've got crickets, and it's I mean I've still got until March 19th, and it is in person, and I've got some stories around it being in the sexuality space. I'm still moving through my stuff, like all this kind of stuff. Okay, so I don't even know what my question is. It's like, okay, how suggestions on specific and tangible ways to sell it so that they actually come through my doors. Because like people are watching. I've got a lot of people watching, but no one's jumping.
How has that affected your state of selling?
How has it affected? It's frustrated me. It has railed me at times, and I've thought I should just not do it. So it's Yeah, it's not ideal.
And so the different versions of you, because we always have them, who is the version of you that is at these events, giving them these transformations? And what's your energy, your alter ego? What's that like versus
Yeah,
who
okay.
you are when you're selling online?
Yeah. I mean, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I know what I'm doing. I know that because it's like they've already paid me, they're already in the space. So it's like there's this, I already know that they're getting transformation because they're already invested. And my energy when I'm in the space is I just don't give a shit. And that's my alter ego. Fuck.
Mhm. And so, what is a practice that you either do before that event or that you can do currently in the morning, in the afternoon, right before you jump into a container, right before you jump on a live? What's a daily practice you can do that will get you into that state?
Yeah, okay. I do put on the playlist that I have at that event like every day. And that's a practice. Like I dance, but I'm wondering whether it's enough. Like,
Doesn't sound like it is.
no. Like I probably need like a somatic practice to like let go of the shit that I'm holding on to. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, people buy your energy. They don't
yeah,
buy your strategy. You guys all buy from me because of how convicted I am, how authentic I am, how I speak on certain things. Each one of you has jumped into that because of that's my energy.
yeah,
I just happen to also be really good at strategy, that types of things, but that's just a side. And so what we need to focus on as you is I can give you the strategies. I can be like, this is a cash injection. This is the hook. This is the story. This is the offer. This is how we can move through it. None of that is going to work if you are frustrated and tired and beat down. Because why would I want to learn feminine embodiment from someone that's frustrated, tired, and beat down?
yeah. Yeah, I feel that. And exactly what you said before of like the chaos in personal life is reflecting like it's a whole lot of shit at the moment. I kind of always is. um, okay. So just do my practices. Is
Mhm.
that my answer? Okay.
That's the answer. And it's getting into this state. Like, I can't tell you enough. Like, your environment matters, how you can compartmentalize things, and how devoted you are to the work. Because a lot of us, we are in practice, we are in live events, we're in certain containers, and it's like this vortex where you're like, I am the freaking queen of this. And I don't know how more people, why am I not Tony Robbins? Like, I don't know. Like, it's that type of thing that happens in our head. The truth is, that's a feeling. Just like love, before I ever met my now husband, is this I would just feel into the love that I would feel with him. That was it, because it's an emotion. He
Yeah,
doesn't
okay.
actually give me that. That was just an emotion. So when I met my husband, I knew it was him because that feeling was felt because I'd already been practicing it. So if you know the feeling because you actually have a lived experience of what it feels like to be in an energetic state of people that already pay you, you can tap that on right now.
Yeah.
You can literally just turn it on in your head. You just have to put a little bubble around yourself, be a little manic for a second, and just like tap that in. Because life is always going to be chaotic. That is life, especially as a leader. Something I can promise you, if you are called to a big mission, you are called to big problems. It's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
It's how it
Sometimes
works.
I'm like, fuck.
Mhm. And again,
Yeah.
that's sourcing from the raw material of your life. Because it's like, what's the story in this? What is the thing? Me and my best friend have a running joke because she has a very fluffy life, and I just happen to get every curveball you could ever fucking get. And she's like, I can't wait till we die so we can ask God what the fuck. And I'm like, me too. I have so many questions. Like, why? And it's like, the truth is, and after being at this conference with Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson and like some of the top salespeople in the freaking world, that's the thing they kept talking about. is if you want a big life, you're going to be tested. Who are you in being tested, and how can you actually continue to source your energy in that? Because at the end of the day, people buy based off of 90% of your energy. And so if people have already paid you for this and you started this by saying, I know I create incredible transformations. Okay, so tap into that.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah. And then also, like, when you tap into that state, when you're thinking of content, when you're thinking of going live, however you're selling, get into that state of you already being in the event, in the transformation, speaking as you do, being in that, and then speaking to that one person, not the person that ghosted you. Who gives a fuck about people that ghost you? They're not paying you. So I said this to Julia earlier, like, who the fuck cares? They're not paying you. Only care about people that are paying you. That's the only people you need to be worrying about. Everyone else, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your dads, your uncle, like, who cares? They're not paying your bills. Only people you need to be focused on are the people that say yes to you. And so the people that are sitting there, that's who you're writing a love note to in your content every day. The one person, after you get yourself in a good state, not focusing on like, oh, they ghosted me and rattlesticks. It's like, I don't want to buy from you then. Like, that sounds annoying. Like, I'm not good enough. Like, whatever it is. Like, it's just like focus on the one.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Does
Great.
that land for you?
Yes, it does. Perfect. Yeah.
Good. Who's next?
I have like kind of a specific question based on what we were talking about earlier. So like when you said like confidence isn't tangible, so like now I'm shifting into like more like a lifting focus, which like the tangible is like strength, like to become
What does strength give
strong.
them? Yeah. But what is that based on your ideal client? What does that make them feel, which is confident? And what, as a result, do they achieve?
Like strong, lean, sexy curves.
And you can get even more specific at that, because that's one where it's like, I wanna, but like, what is it? Like, do they want to look good for their partner? Do they want to feel good? Because if it's an entrepreneur, do they want to feel good going on camera and feeling good on stage? Do they want to feel good going on that first date? Do they want to feel confident sitting in crowd? Like, something I would talk about with gut health a lot was feeling confident, because my audience was more like in their mid-20s ish then. It's like feeling confident on your first date, and you're not worried about what you're supposed to be eating or being bloated. You're able to actually be on that date. And so that's way more specific than you just want to be lean. Right? That's where we get into those diary thoughts. It's not that saying you want to feel confident is bad, because people use that commonly. But if we want to get deep with our people, we have to sit here and go, okay, so if the thing is you're getting lean, strong, little bean with a great ass, like whatever the fuck it is, like, what does that actually help you feel? And when you feel that thing, which is likely confidence, what does that do? Why do you want to get there? What happened to you that you think being lean is going to be the thing that helps you achieve whatever it is? Because when you can nail whatever it is, that's when you find out how people want to pay you, because now you just found out what is worth money to them.
Like loving your body, like
To do what? This is going to be the most frustrating thing you ever go through with me, but
like I feel like I can do anything in the world, but is that tangible? Like I just feel so I don't know.
it's the thing to sit down where, like, you can think of your own journey of when you invested in your fitness coach. Was it just to feel more confident?
No. It was like because I knew there was like more to me. It was but I don't know like what. It was just it's been like obviously like a lifelong journey and still on it.
Yeah.
But it's just
It's
like
kind of
never
the
felt like badass.
It's kind of a personal development, I think, for you too, Julia, because watching your stories and listening to you speak, and also I know that doing stories after you go work out puts you in the mindset to be able to speak on camera about your workout or about whatever you're sharing. I feel like for you, it's a personal developmental thing. And for me, I am kind of your ideal client in a way. I've had bariatric surgery. I've lost a ton of weight. Laura saw me when I was a balloon, and now I'm like a tiny little human, um, literally. But my biggest thing for me is I have loose skin because I was 300 pounds and now I'm 130-ish pounds. And so for me, it would be loose skin. But deeper than that, it would be the personal development of I want to feel stronger. I want to feel unstoppable. But deeper than that is I want to be connected with my body in a way that I've never been before because this is not a side of me that I've ever grown or really cared about for the amount of years that I was overweight and so on and so forth. So, oh my gosh, now I need to be a health coach. Whew. I mean, I do transformational posts too, and for some reason, bariatric stuff is what goes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joelle.
Yeah, if I may add one thing, because I would say, like Cassandra said, I would be like your ideal client. I mean, maybe not so much on the fitness, but on the, let's say, body transformation. So I can maybe speak a bit to that from my perspective. It's like, what would be a message that would speak to me? And as Laura is saying, it's like being very, like clear and tangible. It's, for example, and I think I read a study that like maybe something like one on over three women in the US, I think it was, would cancel out some plans of like going out for like a party or an event because they don't feel good or they feel they have nothing to wear, like because of how they feel in their body, they would just give up on their social life, on things like this. And to me, like I can so relate to that. There's been many occasions where like I have nothing to wear, nothing looks good on me, I look horrible, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to stay home. And I'm kind of robbing myself from the joy of just being surrounded by people with whom I share whatever, 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 just because I have this first block that I'm not good enough to be out in the world. And I think, this is this kind of thing that you want a transformation. I want to feel confident. I want to feel good and lean and all of that. So I can just enjoy life, and maybe enjoy life is also broad. It could be broken down into enjoy what? Going to a wedding, connecting with friends from, back in school. These kind of things for me would be like, okay, she gets me, like this is exactly what's happening in my life right now, right? Am I getting that right, Laura?
Yes,
Yeah.
guys, this is why this space is going to be so good for you. It's like
Yeah.
you come in, you say, hey, this is what I'm trying to say. And then everyone in here is going through something all of you sell, right? Like it's everyone's on a journey, even if, maybe I'm not an elite athlete. And so I like to pretend I am before I got pregnant, things like that. But it's like, certain things that we're all exploring in mindset stuff and moving through these things. But it's like, we're all here that can source that. And so, Julia, do you see how it's like there's just little stories that go under what confidence is that you can get way more tangible and specific on?
Yeah, and then I can totally relate it like to my own personal journey. Like I used to hate putting on dresses, and now I'm like, when's the next wedding so I can wear a dress? Or like
Yeah.
I was saying to you the other day, like just like I feel like I live an extraordinary life, even though my life is so ordinary. Like, but just like being so connected to my body that I just
Yeah.
like I can go do anything. Or like when I go on vacation, I just feel so excited to just like go live because I just have that confidence to go do and play. Yeah. Okay.
Which is the thing people pay for.
Awesome. Thank
That's
you.
what it is. Versus, I just want to be healthy. If I just want to be healthy, I'm just going to go to YouTube. If I just want to learn how to lift weights, I'm just going to go to YouTube. But if I want to buy back my life and I want someone that understands me on a core level of what it's like to cancel events, cancel dates, cancel sleeping with someone, cancel not just anyone, or people we love, like doing that stuff, like to feel that, block of intimacy, pleasure, play, the whole feminine side of us, we really do block it as women because of our bodies. And so when we can nail that in the messaging, when it comes to health, embodiment, fitness, all the things, we hit them on a core level because they're like, you fucking get it. like you really get it. And so just practicing that within the messaging, within your speaking, within the stories, all things.
So good.
Perfect. Let's see. Can I ask, is it better to focus on the one tangible in your content post, i.e., do you feel good to go on a date, etc.? Yes. Keep it to one tangible outcome that they can get from one piece. Because if we're focusing on all the things, I'm like, I'm getting too many transformations. I'm confused, right? Same thing with master classes, same things with it all. Like it's one hook, one story, one offer. That's it. Like when we're going through these things, I know this is a thing we all struggle with. It's like, well, when you fix this, you fix everything in your life. And it's like, ah, the biggest thing all of us go through. And it's like, I get it, but pick one. Pick one. Because at the core, it's usually like some self-worth wound, some like something like that. And you're like, literally, if you just do this one practice, I will save you from every bad relationship, every health issue you have, every money block you have. I am Tony Robbins. Like it's like that type of thing. And it's like, no, let's pick one thing, one tangible thing, and then we can just keep reusing. And like, this is why I'm saying save the content, save that caption, rewrite it in 6 weeks, but with a different tangible outcome. Don't have to complicate it. Like you just same thing, same method, different result. Ah, simplify it. Lauren, I saw your face. You're like, huh. So good. Okay. So Anna, so in my case, gaining confidence to help them stop choking under pressure. Yeah. And so like the story behind that is like specifically who is choking under pressure? Like what specific athlete? Like what are they training for? What race are they in? Like what's going on here? It's like, this is what's happening. Like you are at that start line or you are at whatever it is that they're doing. And because of the weight of your last race where you did choke or you lost against them and all the kind of things. So you're stepping into that lane. And before you used to think about how you're about to crush them, but now you're sitting here and you're thinking about this asshole beat me last time. I'm going to lose. I'm going to do these things. Shit. And like how to overcome that. And you're talking about how you come into the arena and you're stepped into your authority and you're stepped into a thing and you crush it. Right. So you're getting way more specific, even beyond just choking under pressure. It's like specifically who, doing what, and then how you're helping them overcome that. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you. Yay. Okay. And again, this is where the clarity piece is. This is where all this stuff is when we actually know who we're serving, how we serve them, what's the method, what's the offer, all the kind of things. This stuff comes through. But again, the biggest thing is our inner messaging, our state of authority, our moving through these things. So that's where we're going to be starting when we kick off everything even further. But you guys have Telegram. Is there any last questions? Anything that's coming up? And it's okay. You guys can ask me the same question 1,000 times because that's how messaging is. Trust me, the rest of your business is around messaging. For the rest of eternity that you do this, this is where this comes in.
So for me,
Yep.
So for me, it's like lifting weights or like lifting in the gym to buy your life back and then get more specific.
Lifting in the gym to buy your life back and then getting more specific.
Or what I,
So your method is lifting weights.
yes.
So you're just talking about that. And so that's the thing that you're just harping on. That's the thing you're showing all the time. That's your B-roll, like that kind of it. But in your storytelling, how lifting weights helped me get excited for wearing a dress this summer, how lifting weights led me to feeling confident on this date, how lifting weights made me feel confident enough to have the hard conversation with a friend, whatever it is, right? How lifting weights gave me the confidence to travel alone to Bali. Like it can literally, like we're just tying it back to these things where people are like, what? How did lifting weights get you to Bali? Like, what does that mean? Like, but then you talk about the self-development journey that it set you on and the conviction and things like that. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And Joelle.
Yeah, quick question, because okay, I'm the
Yeah.
newbie here, right? So although I've done a bit of practice, for coaching, and I know that I'm capable and everything, I'm confident in that. But the transformation, if there was one that I want to offer, I have no proof, except I'm the only person who's gone through some of the things that I want to share and be able to teach in a way. But I think for me, the difficult part is, how can I speak with conviction, if that's what we're looking for, if I don't have so much, let's say, proof or feedback that I can actually be someone to help other people achieve something. If I haven't,
Mhm.
like practiced that for such a long time. Yes, I'm skilled at many things, but how? So I guess my question is, what should be the tone, because for now, the tone that I have on Instagram, it's like I'm a kind of a friend and we're going through the same shit. But I want to step out of that, oh, you're a friend, we relate energy, as no, no, no. We can relate, but I'm the coach. It's kind of a
Mhm.
different dynamics, right? So what would be
Mhm.
your advice for that?
Who here on this call started talking before they ever had clients? I was a dating coach when I was single. Um,
Yes.
like that type of thing. And it's like, that's where you say the journey that you're on, you are your proof. Like that, just as Lauren said, like you are the testimony. That's what you're
Yeah.
sharing. People want to know at the end of the day, people are buying proximity to power. Yes, testimonials, they're great. They help you
Yeah.
sell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you are your testimony. So you just have to share what your testimony is. And that enough, if you something that really helps with this is, what's his name? Ben Hardy. He has a book that's called 10x is greater than 2x. And he talks about in the beginning of this book where the way that we get conviction is if you can look at the story of your life and you can compare yourself from where you are now to 10 years
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you have authority? And then you go, okay, from now until 5 years ago, do you think you have authority? And then you think, and then you keep doing it until it's like till yesterday. Do you think you have
Mm-hmm.
authority? The problem with why we don't think we have conviction and authority is because we're future tripping versus past self
Yeah.
tripping. And we're sitting going, but I don't have this yet. I don't have this yet. I don't have this yet. So I feel like a little chicken nugget. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, no, no. But if you actually look at the last 10 years of your life, wouldn't you already qualify yourself? Wouldn't you
Mm-hmm.
already think of these things? Like 10 years ago, I was selling drugs, doing who knows what. Like, of course I'm qualified. Now look at what's happening in my life, like these types of things. And so what I
Yeah.
want you to look at is compare backwards. Don't compare forwards. And that's where the
Mm.
tone is come from, because then that's when we start speaking from our womb space versus our throat and little pipsqueaky and nasally vibe. And we start to actually speak from our womb space because you're looking at your past life and you're like, oh my God, I'm so cool. Like I actually do this work for myself. And like, this is who I am. And this is what I've done. And that's where that authority comes from. We just have to see where we're sourcing our story from.
Yeah, I like that, comparing backwards, because then I'm always kind of ahead of that version compared to, oh, but I want to be this. Oh, I'm not there yet. Therefore, I cannot speak about that because I don't know shit, basically. But I do know
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah. And especially because your clients are just one step behind you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not trying to coach people that are ahead of you. That
Mm.
wouldn't make sense.
Wouldn't make sense. Yeah.
You want to be coached by those people. Like those are the
Mm.
rooms you want to be in. You want to look at, okay, where was I a week ago?
Yeah.
Where was I 10 years ago? Where was I a month ago? Like looking at these things and then going, oh, that's who I'm talking to. That's my conviction. Look at how I overcame that. Look at the lesson I learned in that. Again, that's your raw material. That's your lesson. That's your hook. That's your story. That's who you're talking to. And then when it comes to tone, noticing where we're speaking in our body. When I'm talking up here and I'm doing these kind of things, and I'm doing, I mean, it's hard for me to do it when I'm coaching because it is just an embodiment like of what it is. But like I can catch myself in some lives where I'm talking from my nose
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking from my throat. And it's this like I don't know, like it just sounds so young. I'm like, you're so cute. Whatever, you just got self-conscious about something. But when you can actually drop in and speak from your womb, which means your stomach is pushed out a
Mhm.
little bit. Like it's that type of thing. They teach you that in singing lessons. Like you push your belly out, you sing from that space. When you can speak from that space, you ground your audience as well. And so just noticing the more that you're speaking, the more that you're at these networking events, even when you're with your friends, noticing and playing. This is a fun game I used to do with my friends because I'm a very excitable human. So I can notice when I get very hyped about something and I'm speaking from my nose and I'm speaking in a squeaky voice and I'm speaking extra fast, even though I know I speak extra fast, but it's more so. And I'm dysregulating the person in front of me versus when I'm dropped into my stomach and who I'm speaking to, and I'm a little bit more lean back, my shoulders are back, I'm more in my feminine, I'm more in my dark feminine at that time. It relaxes my audience and it gives me more of an authority. And so you can just practice when you're speaking, where are you speaking from?
Right.
And how can you always drop it down versus up?
Right. I'm too calming, actually. We have the opposite problem. But yeah, I
I'm too
get
drunk.
I get what you're saying. You do
Yeah.
speak fast. You're the only person whose video I'm watching at the real speed. I usually do 1.25, 1.5.
With everyone.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, it's already 1.5. Like, oh no, it's just one.
No. No, I've tried for years to try and slow it down. And I'm like, no, this is, and then I realized like the more rooms I got in with like high achievers, everyone speaks that way. Like at this
Okay.
conference, everyone was like
Like
this.
so
And
many
it's so
things you
funny
want to
because
say.
yeah, it's just so fast because like that's the way your brain is working. Like my brain, it's the way I'm speaking, but my brain is like literally rocket fuel.
Right.
It's insane. This is why I was thrown off when I was pregnant. I was like, my brain's not working. I think I'm broken. Like I don't know what's happening. But I start to notice it even more now, being married to a foreigner, because he's like, what? Like, what did you just say? And I'm like, I forget that this is second language. Okay, let me slow down a
Good
bit.
exercise for you, isn't it?
It's so funny. It's really funny. But yeah, I get that feedback all the time. And they're like, I have to slow down your podcast. And I'm like, you're welcome. Keep you on your toes. But yeah, that's what I would say is just noticing where you're speaking from and then moving from there. Sound good?
Cool. Thanks. Yeah.
All right, my loves. Well, so next week is integration week. So I will be filming stuff based off this conversation. I take 1 week off. So you guys know how the schedule works. I take 1 week off every single month. That is when I do my back end filming work, things like that. You guys can adopt it. Plus, I used to schedule it around when I would get my period. So I wouldn't be online and I would actually have time to be a woman. And so we will not have a call next week, but you will have your schedule and we have everyone's time zones and everything in place. So we're going to be scheduling things. It's probably going to be early morning EST and probably this time or a little bit later EST, because that seems to be working for everyone's time zones. Goal is to at least get you guys on 2 of the calls a month. And then again, if you can't make it on calls, you just drop everything in Telegram. You use that space there. But you guys, I think did you guys get the link to add our calendar to your calendar?
Yeah, with the first link that you send in the first email. Yeah.
Yes. So we'll send a link after, probably tomorrow with the links and the replays and the things like that, just recapping all this stuff. And then you can add our calendar to your calendar so you don't miss any of the calls. Sound good?
Yes.
All right, my loves. I will see you on our next call.
Yes.
Yay!
Thank you so much. Nice
I'm
to meet
so
you girls.
excited.
See you next time.
Bye, ladies. I'm so excited to go stalk the internet of you guys.
Bye.